Kenya cultures and traditions. There are more than 40 ethnic groups in the country. The largest of these is the Kikuyu, representing 22% of the population. 14% is Luya, 13% is Luo, 12% is Kalenjin, 11% is Kamba, 6% Kisi, and 6% Meru. Others include the Somalis and the Turkana in the north and the Kalenjin in the Great Rift Valley comprise approximately 15% of the population. These ethnic categories are further broken down into subgroups. 1% of the population is non-African, mostly of Indian and European descent. The official languages in Kenya are English and Kiswahili. English is the language generally used in government and business. It is also used in most of the schools, although there has been movement towards using Kiswahili as the teaching language. English is not spoken solely by the elite, but only people with a certain level of education speak it. Symbolism. The Kenya flag has 3 horizontal stripes, red, black, and green, separated by thin white bands. The black symbolizes the people of Kenya, the red stands for the blood shed in the fight for independence, and the green symbolizes agriculture. In the center of the flag is a red shield with black and white markings and 2 crossed spears, which stand for vigilance in the defense of freedom. The culture of Kenya consists of multiple traditions and trends. Kenya has no single prominent culture that identifies it. Its cultural heritage and modern expressions of culture instead consist of various cultures shaped and practiced by the country's different communities. The emerging national culture of Kenya has several strong dimensions that include the rise of a national language, the full acceptance of Kenyan as an identity, the success of a post-colonial constitutional order, the ascendance of ecumenical religions, the urban dominance of multi-ethnic cultural productions, and increased national cohesion. One constant across the cultures is the spirit of hospitality and generosity that has come to define Kenya and its people, a fact that is immediately apparent to visitors touring different parts of the country. There are festivals or celebrations that continue to hold steady among all tribes due to their significance. Some of these include childbirth, initiation, marriage, and funeral rites. Childbirth in different Kenyan traditions. The order of naming in Kenya is Christian name, traditional name, and family name. Traditionally, there was no premeditation when it came to the naming of babies. Our Midlu is a traditional name. We were given a traditional name according to the time of day or night, seasons like rain, drought, or famine, activities like harvesting, taking the cattle out to graze, or bringing them back in the evening or in honor of ancestors. In the Kalenjin tribe, the suffix che is for a girl and kip is for a boy. For example, the drought season is usually from November to early March. So a child born during this time would be Chepkemei, a girl, or Kepkemei, a boy. A child born in the rain season would be Cherop or Kiprop. My friend Jebet was born at noon, Chepkogei or Kipgei, delayed child labor. Sometimes the elderly family members would meet in a room with the child and start mentioning names of ancestors at random. If the baby sneezed after a specific name, then that could be its name. It was considered a connection to the people they loved through the newborn. In traditional Kikuyu culture, when a child was born, a professional woman was enlisted to announce the birth. She does this by ululating loudly and joyfully so that everyone in the village is aware. 3 ululations signifies the birth of a girl. 5 ululations meant a boy has been born. In the Luo culture, the birth of a baby in the family was and still a big celebration among the members of that family and friends. In the olden days, the celebrations include some rituals which were done. Among the rituals were naming the child. This was done a few days after birth by the parents of the child. Luos were naming their children after their dead relatives, the time and the season the child was born. For example, Okoth or Akoth, born during rain season. Okum or Akumu, born without the mother seeing her periods. Shaving the baby. In olden days, shaving of a newborn was a ritual of its kind. The shaving was done by a grandmother or an aged lady from the same clan. If the grandmother was not around or was dead, the person shaving was required to have a calabash known as agwata, full of water, a traditional razor and traditional herb. A calabash full of water was used to prevent the baby from being obese. The traditional herb was used as soup. Taking the child outside for the first time. Taking the baby out was done according to the sex of the child. Boys were taken out after 4 days and girls after 3 days. This was usually done in the morning hours between 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to avoid the heat. Visitation. According to the Luo culture, when a baby is born in a family, the relatives and friends must pay a special visit. Each lady was supposed to carry millet flour, sorghum flour, dry meat, dry fish, indigenous vegetables, firewood, and beads for both mother and child. The beads, known as tingo, were tied around the mother's neck for blessings and also tied around the child's wrists for protection from the witches. The visiting was playing a big role in bringing different families together, also bringing ladies together, what the modern people call chama.